to another episode of My Brother Said So. I'm your host, Joel McClure, and as always, this is the game where we play Fortnite and discuss conspiracy theories and conspiracy theory culture. Today, we are going to go over a pretty heated topic in our world, and that is the idea of flat Earth.
Flat Earth?
So,
Not these people again. I thought we talked about this. We don't like the Flat Earthers. They're odd.
I don't know about that. We might actually explore some different concepts here. Okay, so the belief in flat Earth has roots in ancient culture. It's been around since the beginning of time, and resurgence in recent years have made many people to question this from the concept of conspiracy theory. While many ancient cultures held flat Earth cosmologies, the idea of the spherical Earth emerges in the early Greek ancient philosophy, getting strong empirical evidence and support in the time of Aristotle. The idea in the medieval Europeans widely believed that the earth was flat, and this historical supposed myth incarnates histories from the 19th century and popularized the idea. So the idea of ancient cultures has come many ancient cultures excuse me, have had these beliefs, and been held as far as the Near East to modern day cultures. So the ancient Chinese also had a flat earth cosmology, as well as the biblical narratives. When you study the Bible, it very clearly seems to mention a cosmology based on a dome-like or flat structure of the earth. So these are pretty interesting ideas, and they've been around for a very long time. As you may or may not know, many people believe that the earth is round, and it would point to space exploration as a way of showing or proving this concept. So, evidence to the contrary and evidence to the yay or nay category, so to speak. Personally, I've seen a number of videos, including the movie Level by Sean Hibbler, that genuinely made me question many aspects of the Earth being flat theory. I don't know about yourself, but there are some very intriguing concepts that some of these people and gentlemen point to. And for me, one of the most exciting ideas of the Earth being flat would be the idea that there could be extra space or extra land out there somewhere. That would be one of the benefits, I think. One of the negatives would be it would completely change the way we view the world and our cosmology. What are stars if we can actually permeate this firmament, as the Bible calls it? However, if you subscribe to the idea that space is real, and that we can actually get up there with our rocket ships, you're probably more likely to balk at this idea, like you did at the beginning of the episode, thinking that this is goofy and completely false. So for me to judge this idea is kind of wacky because my cosmology is so far out there. I am what you call a simulation theorist. I genuinely believe we live in some form of simulated reality. So for me to sit here and argue whether over the earth is flat or round is a little goofy. But what do you think, Ben? What do you think about the idea that the Earth being flat? As always, we're going to have you rate the concept on a 0 to 10 scale. 0 being impossible, 10 being absolutely truth.
Well, Joel, I think that before you started talking about it, it was kind of, how do I say it? It sounds very bananas when you start to talk about it with someone, like the concept of flat Earth and it being flat. It just it's funny when you try and bring it up to people or get into conversation with it. To be honest with you, but if I was rating it from the validity scale of the conspiracy theory itself, I'd probably give it like a 6. I mean, it
Okay,
does. It
so
has
it's
pull, but
it's
there's
possible. Yeah, okay.
yeah, there's
All right.
there's no evidential like.
At least you're
How would you
willing to
prove it?
question this idea. Yeah, at least you're willing to question. Oh, how would you prove it is the right question for me as a
Because
guy
that's
who's
where I
kind of like
start.
a
I go time out because like you know me in science fiction, but
well, there
how would you
are
prove
ways
it?
of
Like,
some of these guys have these experiments and some of the things they point to with the flat earth are okay, like Mr. Sean Hibbler, and we probably shouldn't even be talking about him because he's not here to defend himself, but he had brought up an idea in a couple of his documentaries of looking at the airplanes and the way that their flight paths are and how they jump all over the place. And that was a very interesting concept. Going, yeah, why is the plane having to reroute down here and then turn around here to go here? Or another concept he brought up, and I know this has been brought up by many people, is like the size of places that they say, look it on a map, they say it's this big, but when we actually surveyed it using like sound scientific techniques, it's actually this big. One of the areas he was talking about was Greenland. He was saying Greenland is like way, way bigger than it actually is. So those were some just some thoughts to think about in our quick, fortnight session where we explore these conspiracy concepts. So there's some interesting legitimate arguments to it, and I also find it to be absolutely ridiculous if you explore a larger cosmology. A lot of a lot of people in my circle will say the phrase "space is fake" and blank. We don't want to get kicked off YouTube, but you can fill in the other word, and that's it. I kind of like that idea, in the future, we will be exploring other concepts like maybe we didn't go to the moon at all. Maybe we've never been to space. So that's the fun part of like digging into these conspiracy theories and finding out like maybe some of them do hold weight. We start off thinking they're absolutely crazy and we finish thinking, oh, this is different. Any final thoughts, Ben?
ultimately, I think that uh, there is a lot to. I mean, there is a lot of pull to it. I feel that this episode kind of changed my assumption of it. That's for sure. For sure. Excuse me.
What? I definitely encourage you to look into more of the material that's out there on this stuff. Good fun place to start would be guys like Eddie Bravo. And once you get more like serious into it, guys like Sean Hibbler, who his documentary Level was very interesting and had many thought-provoking ideas within it. But there are several other documentarians out there that do good work. I would caution you not to just type this subject into
Well,
Google and
yeah.
think you're going to find some solid results because unfortunately, we have a very difficult time with fake organizations, and I shouldn't say we because I'm not a believer in this idea, but the people who subscribe to this idea, have a difficult time with infiltration organizations appearing out of nowhere and kind of like taking over their spaces and making them seem very nutty, which often happens in conspiracy culture, as you've come to understand over the last few years and episodes. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for another episode of My Brother Said So. We've had a lot of fun playing tonight, and we've had a lot of fun chatting about flat Earth. Whatever you believe in cosmology-wise, just stay safe and try to enjoy your time in the ever-expanding and contracting right here, right now.